Hi everybody. I was tagged by Sandy over at Let's Get Fit by Sandy in a tag for favorite and other things about spring. I'm a little late to the party here. I think she tagged me like over a week ago, but I'm just starting to catch up on all my videos. So, and from what I've been seeing, just about everybody that I would tag has already been tagged. If you haven't and you'd like to do this tag, please join in the fun. All right, so I wrote down the questions, but I didn't write down the answers that I would come up with because I don't know what they would be. So, favorite and other things about spring. Favorite spring month, May. I didn't even have to think about that for a couple of reasons. First of all, May is when my favorite flower blooms. May 17th was my mom's birthday. It was also the date of my first date with Joe. So May has always been my favorite spring month. And the birds are singing and and the air usually is pretty fresh and clean by then. So I like May. Favorite color to wear in spring? Well, my color choices right now are pretty limited, but I like corals, like the peachy corals, more of the orangey stuff, like, kind of this. I like that. Of course, I like white. I like minty greens, yellows, bright springy colors, I guess. I don't think I have a favorite. Pink, too. I've been wearing a lot of pink lately. My favorite thing about spring, well, like I said, my favorite flower is a lilac, and it blooms in the spring. And when I was the house I grew up in and the house I lived in after I got married had a big lilac tree, and I loved it when those flowers just bloomed. I got my first real kiss in front of that lilac tree. So that's always I've always loved lilacs, and that's my favorite thing about spring. And just I love how fragrant the air is too. Are you a spring cleaner? No, I'm not. Uh, I don't do any big spring cleaning projects unless the mood really hits me. I never have. I'll take a weekend maybe and wash the drapes, and maybe I'll wash, shampoo the carpet or stuff like that. But I don't do like a big spring cleaning week. Do you celebrate Easter? Yes. Easter is one of my favorite days, right next to Christmas. I love going to church on Easter. When I was little, and I know a lot of you can relate to this. We really dressed to the nines for Easter Sunday. It was a big thing to go out and get a new Easter dress and a hat and gloves. And when my kids were little, I used to do the same thing. I used to dress them up. I'd buy the boys new suits or make them new suits. My daughter always had a new Easter dress, and she was going to hate me for this, but I pretty much made us matching dresses for Easter. So, yeah, I love Easter. I love the reason for Easter, and I love the Easter sunrise services. I used to sing at a lot of Easter sunrise services. I don't do that anymore, but I like going to church on Easter. Do you plant a garden or flowers? First of all, let me be clear. I never planted a garden or flowers. Joe was the planter. He knew everything about plants. So, yes, he planted a garden. Now, in the springtime, I like to start the seeds, and then he would take over from there because I would kill everything. This year, however, I am going to try to start a rooftop garden here. I get lots and lots of sunlight, and so I'm thinking about growing some tomato plants out here and maybe some potatoes for the fall and peppers. So I'm going to try it. I don't know if it'll work. But I always loved the fresh garden. When it started coming in the summertime, there was nothing better than going out and picking fresh off the vines the tomatoes and the peppers and, picking the salad for a fresh dinner. Now, in the springtime, I will tell you that I forage dandelions when they first start popping up. I'll make a dandelion tea, and then I'll make out of that tea I make dandelion jelly. And also, when the dandelion plants are young, you can snip off the leaves. The leaves are totally edible. It makes a great salad. In addition to your salad, it's like almost like an arugula taste. The entire dandelion plant is edible. You can roast the dandelion root, and they used to use that for medicinal purposes, I know. But you can make a powder out of the dandelion root for to use for other things. So you should research that because it's really it gets a bad rap. Now, if you have fertilized your dandelions or you sprayed them, you can't use them for any of this. You use them when they first come up before any yards have been sprayed. So I'll go out in the country sometimes and I'll forage plants. Or even I didn't live here when the dandelions started sprouting up here. So I'm kind of interested to see what's going to spring up out here. Now the dandelion tea is very labor intensive because you only use the petals. So more on that later. Maybe if I do it, I'll bring you along with me. All right, so this is an either or portion of this tag. Ham or roast. This is tough because I like them both. The only time really I ever eat ham is sometimes I'll have ham on Christmas Eve, and for a long time we had ham on Easter Sunday. We switched that over to lamb, the last few years that Joe was alive. But I love a good roast, and I'd love to put that roast in the smoker down there. So I can't decide on the ham or roast because I like them both. Really, there's not much edible that I don't like. Marshmallow Peeps or jelly beans. I do not like Marshmallow Peeps. I never have. And jelly beans, I like the original jelly beans. I don't like the Starburst jelly beans. I don't like those. But the original ones, and out of the original ones, I like the green ones and the white ones. Well, actually, I like them all. I'm not crazy about black jelly beans, but like I said, I don't like the fruity ones. I like the original ones. Reese's peanut butter cups or Cadbury eggs. Well, see, now this is another one that's hard because I like both of them. I could eat probably an entire bag of peanut butter cups and Cadbury eggs because I like candy and chocolate and peanut butter and all that good stuff. So that's another one I can't really decide on. Sorry. Ladybugs or bumblebees? So first let me say I hate bugs. I understand how good they are for the environment. And I think sometimes aphids are confused as ladybugs because those aphids bite, and they bite hard and they hurt. Bumblebees, bees are particularly good for pollination, so I have no deference to any of them. I don't want to be stung by a bee, and I don't want to be bitten by any other bug. So that's the hardest thing about camping because I love camping, but I hate bugs. All right, more daylight in the morning or more daylight in the evening? I like having more daylight in the evening, especially now since I'm working part-time, because when it's more daylight in the evening, I get home and it's still light enough to take the dog out and, to just be outside a little bit more. So, and I'm not a morning person. If you've followed me for any length of time, I've gotten up early because I've had to when I had certain jobs, but no, today I got up at 11 o'clock. That's just kind of, I'm a night owl. So I like more daylight in the evening. All right, well, those are my answers. Sandy, I'm sorry it took me so long to answer this. Like I said, I'm just getting caught up on all my videos. So if you would like to do this tag, please do it. I will try to get all the questions typed below. It might take me a day or two to do that. But please join in. This was a lot of fun to do. It made me think about springtime a lot. And I'm opened up my curtains today for the first time in a long time because the sun is shining and it's just beautiful. I was outside a little bit with the dog. It's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous outside. Tomorrow's supposed to be warmer, so I'm kind of planning a little hike tomorrow, but more on that later. So, all right, you guys. See you later.